Hi, I'm Linda Ventura, the founder and executive director of Thomas's Hope Foundation. This foundation is unfortunately established because of the death of my son Thomas 14 years ago. And joining me today is my friend and co-worker and peer recovery extraordinaire coach, Denise.
Hi, my name is Denise. I work here at Thomas's Hope as a peer recovery advocate and a recovery coach. And I'm actually very honored and humbled to be working here with the community.
We are very honored and humbled, all of us, right, to be of service. Denise and I, our favorite genre is family work. And families struggle oftentimes with so much more difficulty than the identified person, because they are so entrenched and trapped and enmeshed and codependent with the disease, thinking that they can somehow fix everything.
Absolutely.
You know, even people that I have been working with for over 5 years, and I'm sure you could agree with this statement, it is such an easy trap to fall back into when someone has a reoccurrence, or when things are not going according to, and I'll say schedule, because there is no schedule with the chronic disease.
My thoughts is that the people that we work with, it often is the individuals know what they have to do, and then the family expects something very different from them. So I feel like our job is a little challenging to let them know that, you know, you have to go on this journey by yourself, and let them go on the journey by themselves. And then we can merge back together. But we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of reframing to do. We have a lot of emotional weights to get rid of. And we often find out that when people are learning more, they want to go back to yesterday, and they want to lay guilt on themselves, like they could have changed something, but honestly, you can't. You didn't have the same tools, you didn't have the same awareness. So I think it's really important that people just focus on being present and what are you learning and how you can change things.
Learn from the past. Learn from the mistakes that you've made.
Yep, exactly.
So, you know, we always say, you can't should on your loved one, and people love to should on them, right? They should be doing this and they should be doing that. But I challenge them. How about if I challenge you and ask you, how many support meetings did you go to this week? Did you do a 1 hour private session? And when the answer is a resounding no, well, you can't point the finger if you're not accepting your own responsibility for your own work.
Absolutely. And the one thing I want to point out is, I mean, I've done many groups with you, right? And one of the impacts on me, and it impacts me every time you say it, somebody will say to you, what will you change? What would you change? And you always say, nothing. Because you didn't know what you know today, right?
I cannot look back with the head that I have, the knowledge I have, the experience that I have, and criticize myself, because what will that accomplish other than destroy me? But I knew what I knew, and I gave 150% to what I was doing at that moment in time. I can't do any better than that.
No, you can't, but you know what it is? They have to put down the emotional weight right now.
Yes.
You know, everybody talks about working on the traumas, but if you are guarded, then you're not going to put anything down. And I think that's one of the things that I really like about Thomas's Hope and all the people that I work with. And I mean, we're a small team, but we work together to like really make everyone that walks in this door to feel comfortable, to feel safe, to be able to put it down and not feel judged. And I think that that's really important, and that's not always put out there. Everybody wants to talk to you about your trauma, but you're not going to talk about your trauma if you don't feel comfortable with the people that you're talking about, if you don't feel safe.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Yeah.
And, you know, the past few weeks in my family support group, when you hear a parent become so able to say that I have wished that they would pass. That's such a big statement for a parent to say, but it's just where the disease brings you. They certainly don't mean that, but they do they're just exhausted, overwhelmed, and feel like nothing could ever get better. And how heartbreaking is that?
Well, it's heartbreaking, but I also think that in your group, for them to say that to you,
they feel
and
safe.
Then, right, they feel safe, and then you don't have your own personal reaction. Like, you're like, that's okay that you feel that way. And when somebody else, after hearing your story, would expect you to be like, what? Don't say that. I had the worst case scenario, but you don't do that. You let that person go through their process. You're not dismissive of them. And I think that's what you put that out to all of your employees and to everyone that comes in here. We can't be dismissive of someone's feelings. We have to honor them where they are at and let them go through the process. And I think that's what, I feel is different here, because that's what we do. We let them go. And sometimes it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of time, but when you see their lights go on, it does something.
It's so freeing for someone to make a statement like that, because now it's out in the world. So the worst fear that they're criticizing themselves for, or the worst fear that they could imagine happening, they've spoken it into the world, and it's okay. And it's okay, and it's been heard, and it loses power inside of them.
Absolutely.
That's such a big,
it's
incredible.
Huge. It's huge. It's huge. Yeah. And then that we also that we have so many different pathways, which is really important, because when everybody comes in, it's not one size fits all. That's why I love recovery coaching, because it's not one size fits all, and it's really not about my life. I have experience that kind of got me here, but it's nothing. It's not even in the room. Only maybe my heart is in the room to hear what they're saying, but it's not in the room when someone's sharing their story, because it's about them. It's not about me. And what I do is I go back to my experience and I go, whew, I remember how that felt when, and I want them to be like heard, seen, matter.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what, that's kind of what brought me here, because we all have our own experiences, but what we're doing with them.
So you touched on the community, what the community needs is what we try to provide. There's too many players in the field that tell everybody what they need, how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, where they're going to do it, and criticize and judge them if they don't do it that way.
Absolutely.
So when the community can say, we would love more of XYZ, and that I will try to get as close to XYZ as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
Because there's the connection. And if that works for someone to sustain recovery, whether it be family or peer, what more are we looking for?
Exactly. There is no more. When somebody feels that somebody is listening and going out and really advocating on their side, it changes everything. It changes everything. And I watch it all the time. I watch it from every group. And the other thing we're offered here is we're a team.
Yes.
So like if one of us is down for whatever reason, personal, vacation, whatever it is, there's another person to slip right in. And you don't get that even with some of the larger organizations and some of the larger teams. You don't. We work so hard because we are small. And it's not that it's become personal, but it's become important. It's become something very important to us, we are helping people transform their lives. So it's really important that we show up the best way that we can.
No one in crisis should have to wait for their regular coach. No one should ever have to wait for that.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, we've all experienced, I've called the mobile crisis unit on a Friday and they tell me, well, we can get to you next Thursday. That is not a mobile crisis unit to me. We're having a crisis today, not in 6 days. A lot can happen in 6 minutes.
Right.
Never mind 6 days. So when help is needed, it's needed now.
Right. Exactly. So I think that's what you get. And I value every single person I work with, because they put their heart into it.
They do.
They put
we all
their heart
do.
Into
yes.
Exactly. Every single person that you will hear, they will find time for you. They will talk to you. They will actually alert each other about if something is really going on, and like this was going on, and we want you to, you to know so that you can be there for them or call them or give them an extra support. And that's really important. So, and that's one of the reasons why I'm still here almost 4 years later.
Yes. And you're not going anywhere. So.
That's nice to know.
Hey, Denise, let's discuss your group on Tuesday nights, Coming Home Within, because that group is really special here because it works with people that are family members and peers. Everyone's in the room together.
And I love that you mentioned that everyone in that room together works, and it works very well because we're not there just for only substance use, which everyone is definitely tied to, but we made it larger than that. We invited people to kind of connect to themselves, which is really working. And they always get to speak to someone on the other side, but they don't necessarily are related to them, which really helps in the situation because something beautiful happens. They listen to them better and clearer. Their ears are more open than they are to their family members because they are frustrated, they feel helpless, they feel overwhelmed, right? So they won't allow them to speak, and then all of a sudden, that's when the magic starts happening, and then they say, oh, how can I support my loved one better? Because I heard this from so-and-so, and I think I might recognize some of myself in there. And I'm like, all right, well, what does that look like? And then they will start working on that. And I think what the group is about is connecting to self. And when you connect to self, there's a lot of layers of yourself, right? There's a lot of layers that went into that kind of built up a heart wall that you feel that you're protecting yourself, but actually that's really keeping you distant from everybody around you. So
and from growing.
Right. So I'm very blessed in that group because to watch everyone work with Gerald very closely. Me and Gerald do that group together, and it's a piece of both of us, but it's a piece of everybody that comes to it, and it's near and dear to my heart because I witness everybody and what their growth, and that is just incredible.
Absolutely.
Incredible. It makes me feel
So in that
full.
group, it's not so much about working on what you are struggling with substances. It's about work. It's about unpacking your suitcase of grief and trauma and learning more about yourself.
Absolutely. And it comes with a lot. And the people that continue to go are committed to themselves, and that's all you could ask for. They're committed to themselves, and that's what you need to be. When people talk about commitment, that's the commitment to yourself.
If you're not growing and changing every single day, that would be my definition of being dead, quite honestly.
Yeah.
But you will learn, if you're not learning something new every single day, then what are you? You're stagnant.
Absolutely.
Stagnant is not healthy.
No, it's not healthy, and it's just existing, not really living.
Yeah, it's not really living.
It's
not embracing the world.
Absolutely, you want to live.
And seeing the world and everyone in it, especially in your own nucleus, right? Of your family and friends, you can't experience them to the fullest.
Right.
And that's sad.
Absolutely. And another thing that's near and dear to my heart is family.
Yeah.
It's family. So I would really like to have more family come and really unpack their suitcase, and to understand that a lot of times it's their inability to be able to fix their loved one that really drives them to continue to be codependent, continue to live in a lot of emotions, to carry some things that they don't have to carry. And I think if they would come and talk to us, they would find out that we're not just going to say, oh, you have codependency behavior. We want to hear everything going on with you. And though we're not clinical, we are able to invite you to look at yourself and then decide what resources you want to kind of add into your life.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty of what we do, because we don't have to do any of that. We just
Correct.
go, we're the mirror, and if you don't like what you see or you want to change what you see, guess who does that? You do that.
The sad thing is when a family member or loved one is a powerful example of their own recovery, how incredibly life-changing that is for their loved one.
Absolutely.
Because when you start walking a path of recovery, the identified person notices the changes, the manipulation stops, the, criticizing and judging of the identified person stops, and they are free to start their own path, and they will be supported and welcomed. It's a powerful example.
Yeah, because people often, it's, again, their inability. They are in so much pain with their loved one that they think that they're the only solution. And it's like, how is your loved one going to deal with their consequences if you are constantly getting involved? They have to know that their actions are what's creating the world that they're living in right now. So if you back up from it, you allow them to see that. And most people, they have that. I've done it myself. Through, my dad died of addiction, right? So I saw my mother creating these different behaviors and patterns that she didn't mean to, but then it was transferred onto me. And when my husband was struggling with his addiction, I was doing the same thing.
And then expecting a different result.
And I was like, this is crazy. I have to start doing something else. And then it became such a passion for me to see how my life transformed that I wanted to pay it forward and for everyone else to see. But I know that it's a process. I can't make them see that, but I can try to reflect that as much as possible so that they can feel like, oh, I'm not a failure, or I'm not, that it wasn't my fault, or I can't change this, or I can't fix it, and it's okay. And that I can't fix the pain of that, but you can get a better understanding. That this is where you are. It's gonna hurt because you're watching someone that you love a completely different person.
Yes.
And that is often what happens is they go and they'll think it's the person that they raised, right? Or the person they were married to. And then they evolve into a different person from substance use disorder. And then they're like, where did so-and-so go? And I'm like, so-and-so is not there right now. And that's why the relapse prevention that we offer here with Karen, that is amazing. That is amazing.
That is imperative to do, just to be empowered and educated and really fully understand the disease that you're dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because without the education, people are so misled as to what they think they can accomplish.
Absolutely. And how many people will tell me, and probably even you, like, oh, I'm not going to go to that because I know everything I need to know about substance use disorder. And I'm like, can you just give it a shot? Go one time. And then often most of the time they come back and they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that this was happening or that was happening. And this is the roles I was being put. And then I'm like, but you see.
And the whole family plays a role.
But that's the whole thing. And then once they understand it, they come back and the support that they will see for themselves changes.
Yes.
They're like, I really do.
And sometimes we have people that just tell you what they think you want to hear. And how transparent is that to us?
We know that.
But
we know that. But
when they're ready, they're ready.
Yep. How many times do we have to have acceptance is really
surrender.
Yep.
Big words.
It's not their time, and when it's their time, they'll come back, which they often do.
Yes.
And
except that now a chronic, progressive, fatal disease has moved down.
Absolutely.
Its timeline.
And that's another thing that we really stress here is that when your loved one is in recovery or starting their recovery journey, it's still important for you to stay on your journey, because people often, what happens? They relapse or they have a reoccurrence, and what happens?
So does a family member.
And then they call us in crisis because they're like, they had a reoccurrence, and we're like, okay. What are they doing? What's going on? But what are you doing? What are you doing?
That's the biggest thing.
Right.
And I know in my own group working with families that sometimes people that have had their loved one sustain recovery, when a reoccurrence does occur, they are embarrassed to talk about it. Like somehow their loved one or they failed. Mm-hmm. And by sharing that with the group, you eliminate your burden, and you also get to talk about, you don't have to talk about the reoccurrence. You get to talk about your feelings, how you felt, And then how did I become proactive for my own recovery again?
Absolutely.
So important. Denise, how great was our 4th annual women's retreat this year?
It was amazing. It was
I
definitely
fortunately
amazing.
got to participate in the activities. Ha.
Yeah, I did not.
You did not, but what an incredible journey that was with Tina and the breath work and the transformation for all our women to experience so many breakthroughs.
Absolutely.
What did you think was the greatest success that day?
That people just felt the women felt so comfortable and so nurtured that they actually touched on some really deep vulnerabilities, and that they walked out of there feeling very empowered.
Yes.
And I was really blessed that I did not participate, because I got to witness all of what was going on in that room. Because what we do in that day is we have, and I was one of them, that actually do not participate so that we can be there for the community if anyone needs a little extra support. So being in the room and not participating and actually seeing what was going on was just amazing. People getting in touch with their breath, getting in touch with life, just life in general.
So Tina Bertoli is a breathwork
amazing.
therapist, I guess you could call her. But the breath work is so transformational.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be able to do anything but breathe.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's certainly breath in a different way with meditation, and it's such a transformational journey. I mean, I myself had my own experience that was very deep.
Yeah.
That day.
It just was, breathing is just a very sacredness about breathing.
Yes.
Which is what was in our title.
There's also something very sacred about a group of women coming together. There's so much power in that
empowering,
room.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. That was, I am going to say this, that every year it gets better, and I predict the 5th year is going to be even more amazing. Because,
but we also may add one in the fall.
Do something in the fall, but I think we were going to do a little bit different.
A little bit different.
More like empowerment, I think, right?
Yes.
That's what we decided, but that one is more of connection with self. They're both connection with self, but in different ways. So I think that our 5th one, that kind of like, it's more softer and more gentle.
Yes,
that one,
it's really more self-care.
Yeah.
Self-awareness.
Absolutely. And the other one is going to be a little kick butt, if I must say myself.
Yeah. It will be.
Yeah. So,
definitely.
Which will also but anyone who hasn't gone should really
absolutely
look for us.
try.
Look for it. Go to our thomasishopes.org website, get on our mailing list, get on our emailing
Absolutely.
list, so that they can start getting some of the information, because we're always adding something in. That's one of the things I love about this. We try not to get stale. We try to keep evolving and adding new things.
Well, a lot of people miss out on, we have the Hamptons sound healer that comes here every other month.
Alessandra,
and she
amazing.
is just absolutely incredibly blessed and
gifted.
Oh,
yeah, very
an
gifted.
amazing evening.
Yes.
And all our services are free. So if you don't come, shame on yourself.
And I'm going to segue right in here to my little favorite, is volunteering.
Yes.
I want everyone to know that, please, anyone who provides any kind of service that would like to bring it to the community, we will love for you to come and offer some services. One of the greatest things is if you have somebody, like, I'm a Reiki master, right? But I can't do all of the Reiki because I'm also doing coaching, right? And stuff like that. So, but if you want to do something like that, come with a couple of people that are doing the same service, and then you can take turns maybe doing it once a month. So this way we could provide it, because our community gets an amazing experience out of that. And I really can't speak enough about volunteering. I've done it myself in other organizations. I've volunteered 2,500 hours of my time because I really believe in the mission and I believe in the community. So I really would, I would
also want the community to know, especially family members, how incredibly life-changing holistic approaches can be.
Absolutely.
With substance use, trauma, grief, everything that you are experiencing during that journey.
Absolutely.
And we are seeing more and more of that be brought, forward as truth.
Absolutely. And that's, Reiki was one of my hugest healing methods. So
Yes.
I loved it so much I became a Reiki master. So I understand that all alternatives, whatever you can do, art, music, they're all part of the healing journey. And it looks very different to each person, but let that connect to you. That'll be what pulls you into that softer place of yourself that you've been kind of like pushing away because you have this heart wall again, right? That's kind of like kept you disconnected because you feel like you're protecting yourself, but really what you're doing is you're closing yourself off.
Yeah. So we do arts and crafts here.
We do all
Third
of this.
Friday, we do open mic night, which is just the most incredible evening imaginable for me to experience. People in early recovery just blossoming into what they're going to be. You have no idea, they have no idea
Yep.
how powerful that is.
Absolutely.
To witness.
And the heart speaks. Beautiful, beautiful, where everyone connects to whatever it is inside them, and they speak and they give it a voice.
Yes.
Right. So they come, they sing, they read their
Poetry. Oh, they write poetry.
They write poetry
in 5 minutes. They go,
Whatever
no,
art
I'm not gonna perform, and then they've written this poem that rips your heart out with everything that they're feeling inside.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful to see. It's very humbling.
Yes.
To be invited to someone's life who has been through so much challenges, so much trauma, and then for them to trust you and then speak about it and share it with you. To me, I'm going to give it an analogy. It's like someone passed down a cherished, piece of china, and you keep it in your china closet and you only take it out to look at it and you don't want no one to touch it. And that's what I feel like when someone releases something so vulnerable and so, traumatic, and they share it with me. I'm like, it is an honor to just witness that this is what, you've gone through, and that you're trusting this space to kind of get in touch with it and to start that journey. It really says something to my heart.
Absolutely.